absolutely love listening to audiobooks. They are my favourite thing when I'm making a long car journey, or when I'm doing a lot of tidying up or doing the washing up or hanging out. I really love having them on and being surrounded by books in that way. It's really interesting. I love to read my work to myself out loud. I feel like that gives me a sense of the rhythm of the sentences, and it gives you a sense of how it's going to seem to the reader, how the reader's going to hear it. So it's quite hard to get a sense of your own work as it might be read by someone who's never encountered it before. But if you put it in a new form, if you read it out loud, or even if you print it out or print it in a different font, that's another trick, then you get a sense of unfamiliarity with it, which is really helpful. I love reading my work out loud, and I love being read out loud to, in fact. Oh, my mum used to read out loud to me when we were children, particularly because I grew up an Orthodox Jew. I don't know if you noticed there was a slight Jewish theme in the story, but I grew up an Orthodox Jew, so we had a very strict Sabbath on Saturdays, from sunset on Friday to sunset on Saturday. We weren't allowed to use anything electrical. We weren't allowed to, so no TV, no radio. So my mum would read to us. And apparently when I was about 3, I got so tired of her having to go and get a drink because she was tired of reading that I picked up the book and tried to work out how to read it myself. And this was my first experience of actually reading myself when I was about 3 years old. So being on the list, it's wonderful. And there's something slightly intimidating about it. I have wanted to be on that list probably since the last time the list came out, and I was doing my Masters in Creative Writing and I saw the magazine and I was just like, oh, that would be amazing. Imagine being on that list. Oh. So it has been, it's very special to me to be on. It's also, there's something challenging about it where you go, oh, all right, so I really have to take myself seriously then. It's like there's sort of, your outline turns out to be larger than you thought it was, and you're going to have to step up into that and, take yourself seriously. This is because, well, I'm not a comedy writer, but I suppose I tend towards it, and so taking myself seriously is a bit of a challenge for me, but I'm ready. Weirdly, it's going to be quite difficult for me to talk about the original creative spark for Student in Our Days, because I started that story quite literally in 2006. I went and had a look at the original file. It just sort of popped into my head, I think, the first maybe 3 paragraphs, that the prophet Elijah would turn up at somebody's house, because there is this thing on Seder night, which is, it's the big Jewish festival. You know, it's not like Hanukkah, which is the one which is at Christmas time, is not really a big Jewish festival. The one where your parents expect you to be there and there's all sorts of emotional pressure and everybody goes a bit crazy, is Passover, not Hanukkah. And there is a bit in the Seder night, which is this Passover meal, where you do go and open the door and you wait for the prophet Elijah to come. And of course, the prophet Elijah doesn't turn up. So having done that throughout my life, I suppose one year I must have been thinking, oh, but what if he did turn up? What then? But then I got stuck after about 3 paragraphs. I was still quite orthodox when I started that story. And I think I needed to come right out of the orthodoxy in order to then be able to write what the logical conclusion would be, which is that it wouldn't be completely marvellous and then everyone would be delighted and then we would all see that we all agreed with each other. In fact, you would come out with something where people would be confronted by the logical implications of all the things that they live by and believe. I mean, I should say I write about Jews sometimes because I know about Jews, but I don't think it would be any different for any other faith to be confronted by the realities of what they're supposed to have signed up for.